Hey guys, it's Marco in the shop. Today I wanted to talk to you about probing on the DMC2 using the Physics Anonymous screen set, the probing script for Mach3 from the GitHub repository as shared by Mikejr83, and the DIY 3D probe from Amazon. The links of it all will be in the description. I wanted to share the process that I use with you because I haven't been able to find any other instruction set on this matter online. So I developed a system that works and turned it into a checklist of what to do to make probing successful and reliable. You can find my checklist in the file section of the Facebook DMC2 group. Now, this is not the only way to set things up. This is just the way I do it. Feel free to play around with the settings and change them as you please. The reason I use this checklist is because it works all the times, and I no longer have busted probe tips because I forgot a step. Talking about which, let's quickly talk about the probe first. I purchased the probe from Amazon and I found it very precise, usually within 2/10,000ths of an inch, which is about 5/1000ths of a millimeter, with one caveat. Because the ER20 collet cannot repeat to that level of accuracy, I have to dial the probe in every single time that I put it in the spindle. Yes, it is a huge pain in the ass. Now, once it's positioned and dialed in, the probe will remain happily calibrated and ready to measure accurately all day long. But if you were to skip this step, you would definitely be off by a few thousandths of an inch or a few hundreds of a millimeter, which pretty much defeats having a probe in the first place. Now, this is not the probe's fault. Any tool installed in an ER collet will never return exactly to the previous position. The only solution would be to purchase and install an automatic tool changer ready spindle with dedicated tool holders for probe and tools alike. But until then, I will have to dial in the probe every time I install it in the spindle. All right, let's get busy and take a look at how to probe. This will be a comprehensive list, and you might or might not need or want to see every single technique. Perhaps only one or two might be enough to get you going, but I will list them all in here for future reference. Okay, this is going to be the outside center in X. This one right up here. Circling over with the cursor. All right, let's look at a checklist. First of all, it says set Z0 when the probe tip barely touches the part. So what I'm going to do is go down in Z until I get the red light right there, and here on the screen we're going to set Z0. Obviously we're working in G54, not machine coordinates. All right, number 2, raise the probe to Z equal +2. So we're going to go up until Z says 2 millimeters. Whoop, somewhere right there. Step number 3, align probe over X max, which is the right edge. All right, switch over to X. You know, more or less. Doesn't have to be right on the edge. All right, now we need to set up our value in the settings up here on the left side of the screen. So I have a speed of 300, slow speed of 30, slow distance 1 millimeter, stylus tip. I made another video on that, but that's what my effective tip is. What we need to change is search distance, XY clearance, edge length. We're gonna leave it at 3 and search depth at 5. But first off, search distance. Search distance from the checklist says it's the part width +5. So let's take a look at what the part width is, give or take. Of course, this is a 25.4 because it's a 1 inch reference. So 25.4, let's call it 25, and we're gonna add 5. That's gonna be, 25.4, let's call it 26, +5 makes 31. So search distance, we'll type in 31. XY clearance is the part width plus 2, so 26 plus 2. Change that to 28. Edge length, we're going to leave it at 3. Search depth is going to be at 5, which means since we're already at Z2, it's going to go down 5 millimeters from there, so it's going to probe at a depth of 3 millimeters off the side of the part. All right, so we have everything set up here. Let's go up here on the center in X. Click it, says if you plugged in the probe is plugged in, and click OK. All right, probing is finished. We found the center in X of the part. I just wanted to highlight here the length is measures 25.397. So 25.4 is the actual size of the piece because it's a 1-inch reference. So that's 0.003 of a millimeter off, which is probably 1/10,000 or something like that. But very, the probe is very accurate. Right, this is the outside center in Y. Let's follow the checklist. We set the Z0 on the probe, tip barely touches the part. Again, we already done this previously, but we're gonna keep doing it in case somebody's just references this section of the checklist. So we go down in Z until we touch, set the Z0. In this case, it's already 0, but we're going to set the Z0. Step number 2, raise the probe to Z plus 2. So we go up in Z until we get to 2. Step 3, align the probe over the Y minimum bottom edge. All right, so we're going to move it over the Y minimums. Again, more or less. Now, the search distance equals the part depth plus 5. Not really sure what the part depth is, but we're gonna find out. It says 9.12, let's call it 10. So search distance is gonna be 10 plus 5 is 15. So search distance 15. XY clearance is going to be part depth plus 2. So we said 10 plus 2 is 12. And edge length is 3. And search depth is 5. We're going to leave those alone. And now we can do the probing. Center probing in Y. Probe is still plugged in. Hit OK. Right, probing's finished. That is the center in Y of our part. Let's measure 9.111 as shown here. Okay, this time we're doing an inside center in X and Y. Let's see, first of all, it says align probe roughly in the middle. All right, so let's go Y and X. Spot in the middle. Drop probe, tip below the edge. So you go in Z, you're gonna put it a little bit below the edge. All right, search distance equal hole width or hole depth or more. So let's see what we got here. Let's take a quick measurement. The width is 29 and the depth is 25. Let's just call it 30. That way it should be good on in both directions. So, and we already have it there. So search distance is 30, XY clearance is 0, edge length is 0, search depth is 0, and all we have to do is let's do X first. So this one right here, hit go. Have you plugged the probe? Yes. And that is the middle between the two gauge blocks. So let's do it in Y now. Now I just want to move it a little bit off to the side in X so it doesn't catch that notch right there. So let's go a little bit over to this side. And using the same values, we are going to do the Y right here. So hit OK. Have you plugged in? Yes. Off we go. So I think there's in the script, for some reason, there's that part is at slower speed, so there might be room to fix that script. I don't really care, it works fine. Just takes us a little bit longer to center back up. You can see it's at slow speed right now. Normally moves a little bit faster. I'm just not smart enough to get in the script and figure that one out. And so that is the center between the two vice jaws. And up here you can see it was length is 29,292, and the Y length, of course those are 1 gauge blocks, is 25.4 exactly. That's pretty good. As I said, this probe does pretty good, remain very consistent within a couple of tenths. I'm very satisfied with it. Okay, this is the hole center. We're gonna find the center of the hole, a little slightly different setup here. Let's see. Checklist says align probe roughly in the middle and below the surface. So let's go down somewhere in the middle. Something that looks like in the middle. Right there. Now, since we put it already below the surface, the search depth will be 0. We can align it above the surface, but then we'll have to put a positive value for search depth. But we're not going to do that. So search distance equals the hole diameter. That hole is around 1 inch, if I remember correctly. So 1 inch would be 25.4. So something above, something bigger than the hole diameter. So let's go 30. Let's see. XY clearance is going to be 0. Edge length is going to be 0. And search depth, because we have put, I'm sorry, this one didn't take 0. XY clearance is 0. And search depth, we're going to use 0 because we have already put the probe inside the hole. If we left it above the part, then we would put a search depth there. All right, that's all we need to do. So this is the inside hole. Let's click OK. Probe is still plugged in. And that should be the center of the hole. As you can see here, the diameter is measures 25.401, considering that's a 1 inch hole. 1 inch is 25.4. That's pretty much on. You can see left to right measure 25.414, and front to back 25.388. For what that's worth. Normally I run it a couple of times just to be sure. It doesn't cost anything. All right, we're doing the post center. Post center, set Z0 when the probe tip barely touches the part. So we're over the probe, we're over the part, go down in Z until we get the red light. I'm gonna set this Z to 0, which is already set in this case. Raise to Z2. Right there. So then we want to line the probe over X max, which should be the right side of the part, somewhere around there. And now we need to do search distance equals part diameter plus 5. Let's see what the part diameter is. 12.7, so let's call it 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. So we do 18 in the search distance. XY clearance is part diameter plus 2, so that's 13 plus 2 is 15. And the edge length 3, search depth 5. I think we're good to go. All right, so this is the post right here. We're gonna click it. Have you plugged in the probe? Yes. And we're gonna watch it find the center of this post. And that is the center of the pin. Now the pin is a ½ inch pin, so it's 25.4 is 1 inch, so 12.7 millimeter is a ½ inch. And let's see down here, figure out 12.718, so 0.018 millimeters bigger than the pin. It's got 12.7 here, interesting, and 12.736, so it's kind of splitting the difference there a little bit. Now we're going to do the inside edge / corner. So we're going to do one edge and one corner at random. First thing, set Z0 when the probe tip barely touches the part. So once again, let's go over. Gotta go up a little bit higher. Okay, so we are going down until we're barely touching the part. So we're gonna call that Z0. So here we're gonna 0 or Z. Raise the probe to Z plus 2. There it is. Align probe over the chosen edge corner. Let's use this corner right here since this edge right here since we're right over it. Here it goes. Let's see. Now, search distance equals 10. search distance, here it is, 10. Y distance, I'm sorry, this is not the search distance. This is a slow distance. Let me put it back. I think it was 1. Search distance, here it is, 10. XY clearance, 5. Edge length, 5 millimeters. And search depth, 5 millimeter. All right, let's make sure we got it all right. Search distance is 10. XY clearance 5, 5, 5. I think if the search distance was a little farther down, like down here, you would have set numbers that you never change because of set speed, slow distance, and stylus tip you never change. So having to jump around here sometimes you're clicking the wrong thing, but such is life. Okay, let's do that left edge right here. You plugged in the probe, yes. All right, and that is the edge of the part, and our X has been zeroed out. Let's go do a corner. Let's go do the opposite corner. So let's see, we're gonna align probe over chosen edge / corner. So let's just go into X over to this side and Y over this corner. All right, the values are the same. We just need to pick the corner right up in here, the top right corner, and off we go. And the probe is back over the corner, and X is being set to 0 and Y has been set to 0. All right, this is the outside edge / corner. I think we can do one edge and one corner, the way we see both of them. All right, checklist says set Z0 when probe tip barely touches the part. All right, once again, we bring the Z down until it touches. We set our Z0, which is already 0, but we pretend we set it in 0. We're gonna move the probe to Z plus 2. All right, and we're gonna align the probe over the chosen edge or corner. So let's choose this Y minimum edge right here. Okay, so search distance, we want to use 10, so these are hard values. Search distance 10. XY clearance, we're going to use 5. Edge length 5. And search depth 5. All right, so we're down on the bottom side trying to measure this, the bottom edge. So you plugged in the probe, yes, and let's hit OK. And now the probe is lined up right over the top of the edge, and it has zeroed out our Y here in the DRO. Our Y is now 0. All right, let's try to do a corner. We're gonna use everything else, it doesn't change, so we're gonna leave 10 for search distance, 5 for clearance, 5 for edge length, and 5 for search depth. But we're gonna move the probe over one of the corners. So let's just go the corner in X to the right. Right there, seems about over the corner. And now, this is the corner we are over. We're gonna click it and just watch it. Find X0 and Y0. The probe is being plugged in. Right, and the probe is over the corner, and X0 and Y0 here in the DRO have been reset to 0. All right, a couple of things before we finish up. You might notice that there's a couple more icons there. The probe Z actually does not do anything at all. When I click on it, it doesn't do anything. The set tool height, I do use that, and I'll show you now how I use it. I use it with the puck that came with the DMC2. Obviously, I machined the bottom and machined the top to make it more consistent. So now both surfaces are very parallel to each other. But let's just say that we want to set up Z0 on top of the vise here. And as you can see, I already chewed up into the vise a few times, so we're not really gonna go straight down on it afterward. But I just wanted to show you how that works. First of all, I make sure that when I touch it, the probe becomes active up here. So we know that that's gonna work, stop the tool from going all the way through the machine. So, and then we're gonna hit set tool height. Sometimes it goes up instead of going down. You might have to click it a couple of times. Let's see what it does now. See, sometimes it goes up instead of going down, but if you click it again, it will then start going down. Now it's a little bit weird, but and you have to figure out the size, effective size of your puck, and install it into the using the Visual Basic editor into the set tool height button. You will have to input this size. I can't remember what mine is. I think it's somewhere around 19 millimeters or so. But that's it. So now it has reset the Z0 on the surface of the vise. I'm gonna go down, closing up, but I'm not gonna try to destroy this tool, just to show you that. Let's see, that's probably pretty close. As you can see, we're like very close. We can probably go down smaller increments. You know, you can see that it would like 0.2 millimeters now left to go. We're not gonna destroy this tool or the top of the vise. So you get the idea. I still use that tool, but I wanted to also show you another alternative. Let me see if I can go up. So now the alternative to that tool would be, not sure if it's gonna fit in here, something like this. Now this is that's too high to do it there. Maybe we can do it down here. Let me realign here so you can see what's going on. There we go. So now this tool is exactly 2 inches up to here. So what you can do, if you're trying to set the 0 down right down here or wherever it is, you can jog your tool over it and go down in Z until, let me see, make sure There you go. Gotta go up a little bit until this one says 0. You might have a little parallax error there, but rest assured it says 0. And then all you'd have to do here in the D arrow is type 2 inches in millimeters, 25.4, so it would be 50.8. Type it in here. And now your tool would indicate 0 once you reach your reference surface there at the top of the vise. And so that's the other way of another way of doing it. There's plenty more ways of finding the 0. Sorry about the length of this video. As I mentioned earlier, this was meant to be a reference source for anyone looking to start into probing with Mach3. The probe itself has been working great, and I would definitely buy it again. I think it would be a real winner if mounted in a tool holder on an ATC spindle. Now, as far as the macros are concerned, obviously I did not write them, or I would have made them a little bit, let's say, more user-friendly. I just figured out how to use them without destroying my probe, so I'm sure there are many more ways to set a probing job up, some of which probably better than mine. Anyway, you're welcome to try out the checklist at your own risk, of course. And if you do come up with a better way of probing with the Physics Anonymous screen in Mach3, please let me know. And post it in the comments below so we can all learn and get better together. I hope a few of you got something out of this video, and now just get off YouTube and go make some chips.